the Nuggets in the conference finals on their way to the title in 2020, while Denver swept LA last year en route to its title. But LeBron believes whatever happened in the past has no bearing on the team's first-round series. King James is at the mic.
I think you put a little bit too much more emphasis on it. This is our first-round matchup, and we look forward to the postseason. But I haven't been looking forward to the rematches. It shouldn't be personal at all. I think you allow yourself to get away from the game plan when you make it too personal. We have a game plan. You go out there and execute it, and you live with the results. I've been in the postseason way too long in my career to know that you don't get too high off of game one and get too high over whoever the matchup is. You got to just stay even keeled.
All right, S.A., do you like, love, or hate LeBron downplaying the rematch versus Denver?
Well, I hate it. That's my personal opinion. I'm not blaming him for it. He can't be worried about what the public thinks, what I think, what anybody thinks. He's trying to win the championship, and I respect that. But this is what LeBron James does. He wants you to rely strictly on the game, right? But on far too many occasions when the theater of competition takes fold, he doesn't want to be a participant in that. Meaning that you talking smack to him, you coming at him and what have you. He doesn't feed into that. One of the reasons we loved when Lance Stevenson blew in his air legs and Wendy is because we knew that obviously he was the superior player. He was playing on a superior team. The Indiana Pacers were trying to antagonize him, and we knew that LeBron James was going to respond to it. We could just tell, and we were good with that. In this particular instance, it's a different animal. You ain't the Giant, okay? You're supposed to be the Giant Slayer. The Giants are the Denver Nuggets, the reigning defending NBA champions, who, by the way, swept you last year. 4 straight in the Western Conference Finals, who, by the way, have beaten you 8 straight. And, oh, by the way, the last 3 times y'all played against one another in this season, okay, opening night, it was their ring ceremony, so they let you watch them get their rings. Then they went out there and took you out. The second go-round, they took you out when Kobe's statue was unveiled. And the third time they took you out was when LeBron James dropped 40,000 points for his career. Okay, those are the 3 nights that the Lakers obviously were looking forward to celebrating, and it was ruined by the Denver Nuggets. So you would think that when you've got that going up against you, you raise up and you're like, yeah, I need to take this personal. Nothing else has worked. Being calm hasn't worked. Being even keel hasn't worked. Just preparing myself as I always do hasn't worked. Something or the normal procedures that works against everybody else hasn't worked for me against this particular squad, the Denver Nuggets. And still, we hear what LeBron James says. So again, I understand it. You understand he's the player, not me, and he can't be worried about what other people are thinking. But if you're a spectator, it does raise the ante a bit if you listen to LeBron James like, they done whipped our ass about 8 straight times. I'm sick of these dudes. I want this. I want this bad. And I hope that we're ready. It would have been nice to hear the quote-unquote king embrace that kind of competition like kings are supposed to do.
Well, look, Stephen A., everybody knows I'm far from any sort of LeBron apologist or anything like that. In fact, people that love LeBron think it's the other way. I pride myself in not having an agenda. Just come out, give my honest opinion. Here's the thing. When I first heard it, and then I read it again, because I want to make sure I got it all, because sometimes I look for little subtle things in something somebody might say. I thought, you know what, this isn't that bad. This is nothing inflammatory where I'm going to go in on him to think he was coming off soft or weak in this matchup, and I wanted to hear more about it. I really didn't think there was much to it, and here's why. Bottom line is they didn't know they were going to get Denver. So it's easy to sit here and say, hey, man, they swept us last year. This is the team. We should be thinking about them all year. The bottom line is the Lakers were trying to survive. They were just trying to get into the play-in, survive the play-in. We didn't know they were going to get Denver until right the last couple of days of the season. Now the matchup is here, okay? So now you know you're going to get the Nuggets. So could he have said something, Stephen A., along the lines of what you're intimating? Yeah, it probably would have been better to hear words like confident. We're confident this time around. Refer to what's happened here in recent history. Nothing wrong with referring to getting swept last year. Hey, man, they swept us last year. Like, we remember that. We're confident this time around. Say things like, we know you got to go through this team to come out of the Western Conference. They are on top of the mountain right now. So we're going to get them now. let's get him now. Like things like that, I think is what you're saying. I completely agree. That kind of gives an air of, we know we're going into this against a top team. You give them their due respect, but at the same time, you portray an air of confidence that you think things are going to be different this time around. I think that's what you're saying, and I would agree with you on that. And let me ask you guys both something. Do you think part of the reason that LeBron can't go more in is because, man, the Nuggets are a bunch of good dudes. They don't have a Lance Stevenson. They don't have a dude that's poking LeBron James and talking to him. They don't have a Dylan Brooks. They don't have a guy like that. It's just a bunch of good dudes, including their best player. They're just quiet. They're not arrogant. They show up and do their business and almost feel like something like that injected into this might give the Lakers a little bit more of an edge, a little bit more of that, of what you're talking about, Stephen A., that would come out of LeBron's mouth.
Legs, I don't find Jamal Murray to be quiet. I mean, that brother talk now. I mean, he go out and back it up, but when he giving it to you, he giving it to you, and he lets you know he's giving it to you. I've seen him do that to the Lakers. Am I right, Wendy?
Yeah, and Aaron Gordon does it, and Michael Malone is not afraid to talk trash. I would have found it more entertaining for LeBron to do a little WWE action here and, really gotten into it and said, sort of embraced being the underdog and, talked about how, they expect to beat us. Well, they got to come do it and everything. But the thing about it is he's not comfortable being an underdog. It's not something he's done very often in his career, and he really doesn't like it when a team has his number. I mean, he's changed teams in the past a couple of times when he's felt another team has his number. When the Celtics had his number, he went to Miami. When the Warriors had his number, he went to LA. The Nuggets have had the Lakers' number. What's his move? He doesn't really have a move, and that's why I think he's playing it a little bit meek. Look, he's 15-1 in his career in first-round playoff series. I'm going to say that again. He's 15-1 when he's made it into the first round of the playoffs. He has owned that round. He is not used to having the idea of being underdog. Even last year, when they went into that series with Memphis, they had a lot of confidence in that series. You could see by the way they approached it. That is clearly not the case here. You can tell by those comments LeBron does not want to build it up. Stephen A., you came on this show yesterday and built this up as a possible legacy-defining opportunity for LeBron. Pull this upset, and it's a feather in that cap that improves his overall legacy. LeBron can see the lay of the land. He doesn't want that because he knows how much of an underdog they are. And so even though he didn't articulate those words, the way he went about it made that clear.
So in other words, you trying to tell me that he's not that confident they're going to pull it off. And so he tries to keep his mouth shut.
Well, you decide what you think. Did that sound like a confident guy to you, those comments? It didn't sound like one to me.
He doesn't sound that confident. He doesn't sound that confident. He's not as confident as you. You know what I'm saying? You wearing orange and blue. You know what time it is. You know what type of. You know what's going on this.
Yeah, well, I think Denver's going to win. I think I wouldn't be confident if I were him either.
You need to be. The way he's been playing, the way Anthony Davis has been playing, you need to be. Yeah, I mean, without that, how you gonna have a chance?
I do.
How you gonna have
a
chance?
Those times LeBron can't win. I do kind of feel like this is because if he came out and went in too far, I think people then would pick it apart because he's going up against a team that's clearly superior and he's not going to be able to back it up. So I feel like in some ways he can't win. I didn't think he sounded weak or resigned to losing. I don't think he sounded that way. I just think he was being honest. Like, look, you guys act like I've been thinking about Denver this whole time. I was just trying to get out of the play-in first. We didn't even know we were going to get Denver. Now it's here. Okay, now I've thought about it. They got us last year. They've had our number lately. I'm confident this time's going to be different. I think that would have been enough to suffice the confidence that you need to portray.
He ain't blaming. Nobody's blaming him. Nobody's saying he's done anything wrong. He doesn't owe us anything. I'm just simply saying that when you're watching competition and you're looking forward to encounters that are imminent and about to unfold, there are certain things that
Hostile sentry gun in your AO. Hostile stealth chopper inbound.